Alright, so welcome to Super Light Games, guys. And actually, we recently finished a game jam, a 3-day game jam, and we were able to submit Color Boy. We were able to finish it, I think, with pretty good, finishing state. So it has tuning, so you can actually replay it for a long, play period. There's an end game to it, so I was able to, put some skins on it and some things to unlock, and also a goal that you need to reach is there. The whole game loop is there. All the UIs are there, and yeah, I believe it's a finished game. I mean, there's still some things that I like to do in the game, but it's quite releasable. So that's what I call it, releasable. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because it's still fresh. The game jam learnings that I have. So I want to share with you guys what I learned in the game jam and how you can finish a game in 2 to 3 days. Alright, so first, guys, I'm quite used to finishing games, in small, duration. I have finished, my hit game is Flippy Battle Extreme. I finished in 2 days. That's the first version. And also one of my top 1 games, Make Tools of the Fishbowl, I finished it in 1 day. And actually, the Make Tools of the Fishbowl, after I released it, I didn't, touch it for maybe 8 months or so. So yeah, I'm used to, game jams. I'm used to having very, very short duration. So this is my top 5 tips in how to finish a game in 2 days. So number 1 tip is definitely it's the speed of coding. So you need to learn how to code fast. So it might be not that easy to think of, but I think it's the mindset of coding. So when you are doing a game jam, you're actually prototyping basically. So a game jam in its essence is more of testing out ideas, prototyping, what works, what doesn't work. And yeah, with that, limitation of the theme that's given to you, you're kind of more, the creative juices is more juiced up from you. And you kind of have, more narrow ideas compared to, not having a box. And it will be hard to, narrow down your ideas when you're outside a game jam. So it will help you to, think about decisions faster. So when you're doing prototyping, you're doing testing out ideas, you need to be able to come up with the ideas fast. So yes, because if you are going to take some time to just have one idea, it will be very hard for you to nail the perfect maybe game feel of the game. So you need to be able to code fast. How to code fast? It will be your mindset in coding. So for me, I'm okay with just having messy code. So I don't focus on having the most lined up code, having the best of variable names. Some coders, some programmers, they're really keen on that, on keeping the code really nice and clean for others to read. But here for game jams, the mindset should be different. It should be that when you're doing a game jam, you're focused on the design of the game and not your code. So you need to be able to separate that. You need to be able to make sure that you're making a game and not making a code base that is for others to read. So it's completely different mentality. So yeah, that is for a game jam. Of course, if you're working with other people in the team, you need to make sure that your code is really nice. But for a game jam, your priority will be keeping the design alive. So the thing is, when you're doing design, you will try this and that, this type of jump, a higher jump, a shorter jump, maybe the controls would be mouse click, or maybe you're gonna try the controls to be maybe keyboard. So you're gonna try several things, and you cannot just handle all of those in one line of code or one structure of code. Your code would be a bit messy because you're gonna try out several things. So you might have different method names. Yeah, I don't want to expound on it, but basically you need to think of the design and not the code. You need to code fast. You need to code dirty. So that's what I want to call it, code dirty, guys. Number 2, you need to be able to make decisions. So this is not that easy to explain actually, but yeah, for when you're prototyping, you need to be able to reach a point when you're gonna say that, okay, this is it. It's quite hard actually. It takes some experience to be able to choose the right direction to go. So for example, for Color Boy, in our Game Jam 73, it took me maybe 3 to 4 prototypes before saying that okay, I'm quite okay with this game. This is the direction that I want to go with the game. It took me 3 to 4 times. So yeah, it's not that easy, and if if you're not that experienced yet, it may take you maybe 10 prototypes before you get to a good point. Or maybe you will stop and you will say that okay, I'm okay with my first idea, let's just stick with the first idea. So yeah, you need to be able to find a balance in that. You need to be able to decide, okay, this is the direction that we're gonna go. So I would say at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong direction, because in each direction there's something for you to explore there. I cannot say that the first idea is not the best, but I'm just saying that there's the balance in things. You need to be able to find that balance, which works for you depending on you, because maybe there are some prodigies that the first idea is always great. So if you're like that, go ahead. But yeah, so I think for most people, it will take you several prototypes before you're able to get a really good one. So yeah, make sure that you make some decisions, and when you make decisions, you go with it, you test it out, and you be open also to test out new things. Decide that okay, let me test out this thing. I am gonna spend 30 minutes on this. So yes, that's number 2. You need to be able to decide on things. Number 3, you need to be able to prioritize. So this is kind of a production technique. So in making games, there's a lot of things that you need to do. And if you don't prioritize, you won't be able to come up with something significant in a good amount of time. Because again, for example, if you prioritize, coding, making your code as great looking as possible, you won't be able to have more time on other things that might be important for the game. So you need to be able to decide what's really important. What is the core thing that you're selling in your game? What is the core mechanic in your game? What is the core idea in your game? And you need to focus on that, and you need to make that work first before you do other things. Because sometimes maybe as game developers, you focus on other things, like maybe for example maybe you don't have a mechanic yet. You're not sure if your core mechanic is gonna work, but you're already working on the marketing. You're already working on making the art style really, really nice and stuff like that. And when you test it out and your core mechanic doesn't work, your art style, you need to change it again. So you just need to start with the what matters. So is it your core mechanic? Maybe it's an art-driven game, so you need to focus on the art. Or maybe I don't know, it's an external driven game. You need to be able to focus on that and nail that core mechanic. What makes your game the game? What is the identity of your game? You need to be able to identify that, and you need to focus on that. And you need to have a priority list on this, because it needs to be clear to you, because in the middle of a game jam, things might be flying off left and right. There's a lot of things that's happening. Maybe you're with a team also. You're being given some task and you're doing some time, you're helping out. There will be a lot of things that will happen in the game jam. You need to be able to say, okay, wait a minute, it's not priority. So you need to be able to figure that out. What is priority, not priority? Really, really important, guys. So I do recommend having a to-do list or a task list. Even a simple Excel file will do. If you can go Trello, go for it. If you can do Asana, go for it. Even G tasks can be okay, but have a task list, and then you prioritize from there as well. Number 4, so this will be a kind of a trick. So for me, I always have a framework ready, because frameworks will help you maybe do 30% to 40% of the whole game. And when you go in a game jam, you need to have your tools ready, basically. So it will help you code faster. For example, maybe when you're preparing food, right? So there's a food preparation. So before you cook something, your ingredients are already cut, prepared, something like that. So it will be something like that when you go into a game jam, that you already have a framework. So framework, it will include your usual tools, maybe your usual sound effects that you do, maybe your usual helper functions that you use, usual scripts that you use, maybe helper tools that will help you code faster. If you have plugins that you always use, you need to be able to carry that as well in the game, and that will help you a lot. That will save you maybe 4-8 hours in your game jam. You know, coding, technical stuff will take you time. It will take away from, you know, what really matters, which is the design of the game, the game that you're trying to prove that, you know, will work. It's a good idea. So having that framework will help you a lot. Number 5, and I think maybe the most important tip, is you need to be in the zone. So this is maybe unfair to say, but yeah, you need to be in a place where you can be creative. And yeah, so that is you know, several things. That can be several things. Maybe a nice group will help you get into the mood. Maybe a nice idea will help you get into the groove. You know, maybe the place where you're developing in will get you in the groove. But you need to be in the zone, because yeah, making a game in 2 days, you know, even making a game in months is hard. And you know, making a game in 2 days, it's definitely harder, because there's a lot of things that you need to access within yourself. You need to be able to get ideas, get inspired by ideas. You need to be able to harness that, you know, that idea pool in your head, because everybody, all creatives have that idea pool, and to be able to access that, you need to be in a good place, let's say. So you need to be creative, in a creative mood. And yeah, if not, it will be hard for you. You'll be able to come up with something, but it won't be as good as when you are in a good mood. So like for me, of course, I'm a caffeine kind of guy, so I need X number of caffeines before I get to a good rhythm. And I need to be in my place of like this. I need to be in my rig that I'm really comfortable with. Everything is laid out the way I want it to be. And yeah, I need to have good rest also. So I need to be able, my brain needs to work. I need to be able to function properly. And yeah, you need to prepare for that also. You cannot just, you know, do game jam, you know, each day in a month. That will be really hard and also draining for you. So you need to be able to be in the creative mood. That's maybe the biggest thing. And like for me, you know, thinking of Color Boy, maybe it looks like a simple game from the get-go, but it's a really deep game for me personally. It kind of I transferred myself to the game. I see myself in Color Boy basically, and I did a lot of deep stuff in the game, like the presentation of the multiple colors. It's for me parallel universes. It's a representation of the worlds colliding together. So there's a lot of like, yeah, symbolisms and something like that I was able to put in the game, because I guess I did invest in, you know, thinking about each small thing in the game. And I think that is what makes you know, a really cool game. It separates a really good game from, you know, just an okay game. That thing, the small things, it's actually the small things that kind of matters. Especially for some players, they are able to see it. They're able to feel that there's something different about this game. There's a different vibe in this game. So yeah, you can do that if you're in the zone. So I'm not saying that you know, Color Boy is the best game on earth, but you know, I'm happy enough to be able to put myself in the game. So at least that I am successful with. So yeah, that's at least you know, for creators, that the least thing that you can do is to be able to give it your all. And I think, you know, if you're in that mood, you will be able to give it your all. So yeah, that's actually kind of what I relearned in you know, making game jam, doing game jams in 2 days. Like for me, I will do game jam every 2 weeks or so, because I need to rest, because yeah, I really, you know, invested time in making that game. I was able to finish it, but it's not that easy to do every single week. Or maybe let's see if I can if I get into the groove. And actually, when I went into this jam, I didn't have my framework ready, so I did spend X number of, you know, hours making the frameworks. That's a bummer. Also, that's something I need to improve in my future game jams. But yeah, this is my first PC game jam, so I have some tools that, you know, it's not available for me yet. But yeah, that's my top 5 tips in you know, making a successful game jam. If you learn something and you want to support the channel, play Color Boy, download it. It will be nice if you download that, because it will help out the channel and will make me happy as well as a creator, because more people are gonna play the game. I do like, seeing people installing the game in their PC. That's kind of a different experience compared to just web, because installing it in your PC is quite an investment. Like you have space in your PC, and if you put that game there, it's more special. So if you want to help out the channel, try to download the game, play the game also, share it to your friend. And yeah, that's actually our video for today. Me just blabbering about game jams and I guess my passion for game jam. And I'm gonna do more in the future. And if you want more content like this, subscribe here in this channel. And thanks for watching. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.